Today we're at Thorpe Abbotts, a place that you're going to be very familiar with if you've seen the series Masters of the Air. Well, today we're going to explore and take a look at some of the real places that were depicted in the TV series. Thorpe Abbotts was built during 1942 and early 1943. It was originally built to be used by the RAF, but due to the large build-up of the 8th Air Force in the UK, the Americans, it was handed over for them to use, and the 100th Bomb Group arrived here in early 1943. The 100th Bomb Group arrived here at Thorpe Abbotts on the 9th of June 1943. The 100th flew Flying Fortress at B-17 heavy bombers, and they were going to fly more than 300 missions from here during the course of the war. Now, the idea for today is, if like me you've seen Masters of the Air, you would have seen lots of sites that were depicted in that TV series that are actually here at Thorpe Abbotts. We're going to take a look at some of the real places that were shown in that series and see what they actually look like in real life. Now, we've also got a couple of exciting guests that we're here with at Thorpe Abbotts today, and I'm hoping we're going to be able to get one or two of them into the video with us as well. So the first thing you see as you walk up to the site here is just a familiarity, right? If you've seen the series, you would have seen buildings like this Nissan hut, and in the distance there is the famous control tower. So let's go take a little bit of a look in more detail and see some of the sites which are here. Now, of course, in the series, you see a lot of buildings like this used for kind of briefing halls, and you see the scenes where kind of the guys will come out of here ready for their mission to like the donut van outside. Now, these aren't the original buildings. They've been built here now for part of the museum that they use, but this is what they would have been like right here in this area on the side of the main airfield with the control tower out here behind us. So whilst we can't see the originals, we get a pretty good idea of what it was like. Think of those scenes. I'm thinking of the scene where kind of Rosie comes out here and they've got the donut truck and stuff outside. Well, that would have been around buildings just like this one. So in the series, one of the characters you might be familiar with is Sergeant Ken Lemons, who was a member of the ground crew doing that essential work repairing these aircraft. Well, one of the buildings they have here at Thorpe Abbotts, really interesting, is the workshop where him and many other men would have worked, where they would have fixed equipment and engines and wings and panels that then would have been taken back out to fit to aircraft here to make them ready to take off again. But really interesting site that they've got this here, and when you come in there's a couple of little different bits here, including part of one of the massive engines and also a really banged up propeller. So one of the things they have here which is incredible is a B-17 ball turret. Now look how small this is. I mean, to give you an idea, they say if you want to climb in you have to be below this height. Now that doesn't even reach my chest. I mean, it is so tight. Do you imagine climbing in there? You're talking the bravest of the brave who would climb into that ball turret and hang in the undercarriage of a plane. Wow. Well, if you've seen Masters of the Air, one of the most famous sights that you would have seen, is in loads and loads of episodes, is of course the control tower. This behind me is the control tower here at Thorpe Abbotts. Let's go take a closer look and see what we can see. So just by the entrance to the control tower here, they've got this really interesting panel. The control tower has been restored as a museum and memorial and is dedicated to the men of the 100th Bomb Group who served the cause of freedom from this airfield, 1943 to 1945. Nice. Okay, so if you're a fan of the series, this is a cool moment here. We're at the balcony of the control tower, and so many scenes which featured guys, you know, stood here and waiting for the planes to return. And let's just remember, this isn't just the series. You know, the real men, Harry Crosby, other men from the 100th Bomb Group stood here on this railing, waiting for their friends to return in aircraft, not knowing how many of them were going to come back. Wow, this is a cool one. Okay, right, so let's make the final ascent to the top of the control tower, and there's a sign here. Caution, steep stairs. Yeah, and this does look pretty rickety, but let's go. Okay, so we made it to the top of the control tower. So look, right here in this room on the roof of the control tower is where men like Chick Harding would have stood looking out over the airfield. Now, one of the famous bits featured in the series is when the guys have their mission to Regensburg. The whole airfield is all fogged in, or soup as they call it, and Chick Harding receives a phone call to tell him that the guys are going anyway. When he receives that call, he stood right here. This is the control tower, or at least the area, the room on top of the control tower, where Chick Harding would have been standing when he received that phone call, as depicted in the series, to tell him that the 100th were going anyway. Now, one of the things they show in the series is the fact that guys need bikes to get around because the site is so spread out. And that is definitely the case, and this really helps us here. They've got kind of a layout of the whole sort of site. We've got a bit of sun reflection. We're going to try to show you. So this is where we are. We're just by the control tower. And if you look how big and spread out the site was, this is the main runway, but you also have these two shorter ones. You can see all the hard stands, like over here, where the planes were, and a couple down here as well. But you can see this was such a vast site. Now, Chris from Vlogging Through History is kindly going to show us a bit of drone footage. A lot of the runway is now gone, but there is a small section here, just out in front of us over there, that sits out about here, that is still there. So I'm going to try and get a clip of that I can put into the video here. Now, one of the guys we're here with on the tour today is an actor by the name of Bailey Brooke. Now, you'll be familiar with him. He played Sergeant Charles Bailey. He was heavily featured in episode 4 of Masters of the Air, where he parachuted down and then had to escape. He was smuggled out of Belgium by the resistance. And we're going to chat to him real quick about some of his thoughts visiting Thorpe Abbotts here for the first time.
Hi, my name's Bailey. I play Charles K. Bailey in the series Masters of the Air. I'm here at Thorpe Abbotts for the first time. They recreated it when we filmed it, but this is my first time being at the original, and it's really surreal. It feels amazing to see, you know, so much history and legacy in such a small area. Is just gorgeous, and to hark back after 3 years of filming, 3 years since we filmed it. It's really beautiful, and to meet everyone here has been really lovely. Everyone's very passionate and cares a lot about the show, and that means a lot to everyone.
Through the course of the war, the 100th Bomb Group got the nickname the Bloody 100th due to the heavy casualties that they suffered during their missions. The last combat mission they flew from here was on the 10th of April 1945, and in December 1945 they departed Thorpe Abbotts for the last time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, taking a look at some of the real places featured in the series Master of the Air. I found it really fascinating to come here, and such a great experience to come here with a couple of the actors from the Masters of the Air series. If you guys did enjoy this video, do me a favour, do all the usual YouTube stuff for me right here on the screen. If you like what I do and you'd like to support the channel, you can do that as well. You could join me over on Patreon, or you can just join as a member right here on YouTube. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to see you on the next video.